All right, so this is a quick overview of the new unified client interface that we're going to be using at Kelly Roofing. Pretty much everything is the same as before, just laid out in a little bit different manner. And this is using the new Azure backend, so it's going to be much faster. It's also mobile responsive. So in other words, as you change the size of the screen, everything molds and shifts to whatever that size is that's available. So if I was, for instance, viewing this on my cell phone, you would see that now this is just rendered and I just continue to go down the screen and everything is still there, including the original menu and of course all of your top buttons as well. But let's go ahead and go back to the full screen and let's take a look at what the main navigation items are and how to use them. The first thing we're going to look at, of course, is the similar top bar here. It's very similar to the old style. We've got our find and search. We've got a new task flow system that we're going to start programming, some insights and relationship assistant that's using artificial intelligence. Of course, this is to create a new record, just like we had in the past. You can quickly drop down and go to new records, and we're going to change these out with stuff that we use on a regular basis. We still have the advanced find. We still have creating a new activity, and we still have creating a new record, import data. Of course, not everybody's going to have import data in settings because that's an administrative function. But you can see that we are here in the new unified client interface, what they call app. And this is what I've shared now with everyone. And it kind of shows you the main section that you're in and what you're looking at. So what do I mean by the main section? So if you remember before, across the top of the screen in the old system, we used to have service and sales and so forth. And under each one of these, you had a list of all of the different pages that we can access and entities and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's still there. The difference is, I clicked on this little ellipses and of course you can go to these different sections. So right now, if you look at all of these icons that are down on the left-hand side, that's what's specific for sales. Now, if I go ahead and I hit service, you can see that those icons have now changed. There's just different action settings. And we're going to clean this up. We're going to make this actually per position, so it makes it a lot easier. Get rid of some of the clutter. But for now, what does that mean? So if I, for instance, go to sales, that's probably what most people are going to be in, and I pull out this box up here, I'll go ahead and hit it again. So you see my mouse. I'm on the hamburger menu or the 3 lines or whatever. You click on that, and that shows you all of the items that are accessible in this page. So let's go back out again. And you can see down the side here, we can see we have Power Global Search, and we've got jobs, and we've got activities, and Power Grid, and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's listed right here. Power Global Search, jobs, Power Grid opportunities, cases, and so forth. And what it's doing is it's listing the top 10. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch these around so that the top 10 are listed in the order in which we use them within Kelly Roofing. But it's the same thing. For instance, if I want to go to, I'm on Power Global Search now, but if I want to go to jobs, I just quickly click right here on this icon and it's going to load the jobs entity. So instead of before where we had to go up to the top and kind of filter through, the things we use the most will be listed right here. And if I wanted to quickly jump to cases, bam, it's right there. It makes it really simple to take a look and move where we need to move. And like before, your favorites and recent will be listed right here. You're just going to go ahead and click on this little time icon. And when you do, let's see what's happening. Let's get it to load here. There they are. So you can see the ones that I've been to the most recent are going to be listed. The pinned ones are going to be listed up at the top, and then the ones that I've been to most recently will be right here. That would, of course, be the entities and individual records as well. You can scroll down, and it keeps like the last 50 or something. I mean, it's a pretty good list. Don't forget, if there's something you use a lot and you want to pin it, you just click on this little pin, and then it'll always be located right here at the top. So let's go back to the ellipses. We can go to sales. That'll change our menu back to sales. And then we'll go back to jobs. Now, how does this change the use of the interface? Well, you can see this is very similar to before. I mean, here we have our view. And just like before, we can drop down our view. And let's say, for instance, we're going to go to view 1, repairs, not ready for login. So these are repairs that are still in sales, waiting for sales. They've got a little bit of options up here. You can sort by column, just just like before, you can change the width of the column. You can go ahead and create advanced filtering. You can search right up in the top. All of the options are right across the top like they've been before. Very, very simple to use. Now let's go ahead and jump into one of these. Just like we did before, we would double click and it would open the individual record. And you'll see there's a slightly different change in the way the records are laid out, and it's really smart because they took the sections that we used to have to scroll and scroll and scroll to get to, and they've put them across the top. So of course we always had the information right up top here like we've always had, and we got the business process flow, but take a look at this. Remember, we used to have to scroll and scroll and scroll. Well, this is as far as I can scroll now. So where's the rest of the sections? If you look right under the business process flow, they're listed right here. So let's say, for instance, I was in the accounting department and I wanted to jump to invoice and collections. I would just simply click this and it would jump right to that section where I have all the details that I need for that. If it's sales information, field service, whatever it happens to be, if I wanted to jump to notes, I would just click right here on the notes and it would pull up the notes section for this record. Now, if you notice, the business process flow is a little bit different. The way business process flow now works is it's streamlined for responsive or mobile devices, tablets, and so forth. And if you click on one of these sections, it will give you the steps of that business process flow. Now, before, these used to be listed underneath. They're no longer listed underneath. Instead, you have to click on them and then it drops this box. Now, Microsoft knew that this is something that a lot of people use frequently, so they have this little pin option right here, and when you pin it, it's going to go ahead and always keep it on the side. So when I change to the next section of the business process flow, the fields necessary are going to be right over here, and I'm sure that's what a lot of you are going to do, especially those that are working in the opportunities or in the job entity, because we do use these quite frequently, and they're a good little access pane for the items that are used most frequently. To unpin, you can just come back over here and click on the X, and then you're back to the main section. And then if I want to go back up to the very first section of the job, here we are. So that's it. That's pretty much the new unified client interface. Everything else is the same. The content's the same, the use is the same. But I will say there are a couple of real big improvements. One of them is going to be speed. The first time you go through, it might take a couple of minutes for the forms to cache in your computer. But once you do that, they will be cached, and that will make loading that particular entity much faster in the future. If you switch browsers or you're using a different computer, again, you'll have to cache for the first time, and it might be a little bit slower. It might be similar to the old way that we access CRM, but once that's done, it'll speed up, and then you won't have any problems. You'll see the speed much quicker than before. I mentioned a couple times mobile and how this is a much better use case for mobile. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Let's say, for instance, we were on the phone, and here we are. So we've got, just like we had before, it is now rendered responsive. I still have the jump lists on the side. I still have my main menu structure. But you'll notice everything now is stacked on top of each other, so that it's very quick and easy and clean to access even on a mobile phone. And if I want to go to another section, I can quickly jump to it like we did before. I wanted to go to the invoice selection. So bam, I'll go ahead and click on that. And then the customer details are right there for scrolling, making it very, very easy to see even on a cell phone. So we can pin this and just use the native browser right on the cell phone. You can use Safari or Chrome or Edge or whatever it is you use on your phone, and it will work just as good as long as the data is solid as if you were at a desktop. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get these switched around so it's nice and organized, and then eventually down the road, once everybody's in and comfortable with this, we'll start making position-specific unified client interfaces so that they're easy to use and find. For the meantime, if you need to get back to the old CRM, it's right here. You just click on this little caret next to Kelly Roofing, and the one you're used to is called Kelly Roofing Full, and then you can see UCI right underneath it. This is what we're going to be using from now on, and we'll have the option to put even more apps, as you can see down in here, based on your specific position. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed today's recording, and we'll go ahead and get this out to you and available for future. Thanks so much. Have a good day.